So if you're here, we're live on Clout Africa, and I know I want to start with first off, I want to start with talking to everybody in the angle of we know this past few days have been a horrible one, and it's still been our hearts. And as much as we know, as much as we understand that a lot of things are going on in our lives, we know the fight is still on. We know we're here for the right reasons. And everybody, we just need to be together regardless of whatever is going on. So I'll be speaking to Seun Kuti. And Seun, as you all know it, has been someone who's been speaking about the struggle from day one. His dad has been part of the struggle. A lot of things he has spoken about when it comes to using music as an instrument to pass on his message clearly. He has been doing that for years, and I think it's time to understand that all those things he laid down from live music, the kind of content he has brought out, is almost same things we're speaking about now. So you guys, please don't bother about me. It's a bit, I'm a bit sweaty, so please. But I just want to say that, he represents the struggle. He's one renowned, Grammy-nominated musician who has made live music the top notch and entertainment in the most unassuming way. He's been to all parts of the world. His music is phenomenal. You can't take that away. So I know that for me, this is going to be an interview. We're going to speak about a lot of things. Talking about the music, talking about what's going on right now. There's a lot that we need to speak about. Just give me a second. Okay, so I'm here. Just get on and Sean's here. Hey, Fee, thank you guys for tuning in. Please follow at Cloud Africa.
Yo, energy guy.
Hey, my G
My
Alpha
friend.
now. My friend in everything, in music, in love, in the struggle,
In
in
football.
everything. In
Don't
football,
tell them you don't
in
want them to
life.
come and dribble you in Lekki.
The thing is, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of things I like about you. And I think I've never really told you this. You're a pocket of everything. I mean, football, health, music, sports. You have one or two things to say about it. You're a complete all-rounder. And I want to say this, a lot of people don't know this because when it comes to music, entertainment, people say, I've been there. I go for live shows. I don't talk. The thing is, but the truth is, you're one guy who have been around the world. One other thing that really touched me was when you gave me a story about your conversation with Carlos Santana, right? And people don't even know this, right? He wrote a book and wrote about Seun in his book. Everybody knows that Carlos Santana is a Grammy nominated, is a Grammy winner, one of the biggest star guitarists in the world. He has made music for all the renowned people that made music and has gone far and wide. And for you to speak about that, and I think we all need to keep sending these stories every time we have the chance to. So, Seun, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the one and only.
That was one of my claims to fame. I'm in Carlos Santana's book. I read his book, man.
And the thing is, I had to even give me time to even take out time to read about it, and I respect you a lot. So when people say they are touring, this is an example of an artist that tours. No, don't even
A lot of artists in Nigeria now are doing it right. They're getting on the road. Yeah. Maybe not as extensively as me, but trust me, I won't be traveling all around that much if there was work for me in Lagos. Because nobody pays like the Lagos elite. I'm telling you.
I agree. Let me just give me a second. One second.
Suarez will hate these people. They give my hate just some months ago.
So, as we did. So we did. So how are you?
I did, man. I did. What can I do, bro?
There's a lot. See, first of all, I know this is a very, very funny time. And the thing is, there's a lot of things you've said in your music. There's a lot of things your dad has said in his music. And it's the things that we're seeing now. Well, for me, I represent a brand, Clout Africa. We're bringing live music because that's the thing people don't understand. We always talk about the music, but we don't talk about the depth of the music. And that's what we have, one of the biggest, best live studio in Nigeria. And we're not just having a studio or having a production outfit. We just wanted to bring in that thing that is missing.
For live music, finally.
So you need to come and see it. It's the best in Nigeria.
I'll come and check it out.
No, you need to. You need to come and see it. It's the best in Nigeria. And because see, the thing, like I said, we can't talk about live music. We can't talk about everything without talking to you about it. So, but now we're trying to be. It's not even about just the music. Showing a lot of things that happened the past few days, right?
Yeah.
And we need to be very honest with ourselves. It affects everything. Our music, our output, our daily lives, it affects a lot of things. And it's not just now, it's things we've been speaking about. So before we even kick off, I mean, if I want to get in your mind right now, what's the first thing you're going to say? If I get in your mind, what's on your mind right now?
What is on my mind is the amount of work we're already doing right now. I have to commend. I was just talking to my father's PA, former PA actually, who is here from Germany, one of my senior bros. So I was just talking to him about the amount of calls I've been receiving all day, the emails from well-meaning Nigerians who just want to organize, to create a platform, a political platform to take this country forward. I mean, I'm so happy inside. That gives me so much hope because obviously the Nigerian people have realized that there's no Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, whatever. It's really people versus our politicians. It's so black and white, It's so black and white. Back in the day, it was easy for us to say, oh, this is the colonial master, is white, he's the one making us suffer. But when the person looks like you, it takes a lot for you to really see, how different he is from you or how his interests differ from yours. And I think that's what we are all experiencing in this moment, That is basically the catharsis. That is.
So, thinking about it, like, this is something your parents have been, and your dad, you as a person, you champion your music by talking about the struggle, talking about, the elevation of our mind, talking about the enslavement of our understanding of growth. And now you see that a lot of musicians came out this time, likes of the Fino, likes of Wrong Town, Fast the Bad Guy, Oxley, Fireboy, they're young boys who just joined in the struggle. How do you feel about that? Because this is something that have been championing.
That's very good, but that's very great. I feel it's a step in the right direction, but it's an energy we need to keep up. But here is the catch, right? It has to be an energy we keep up even when it doesn't affect us.
Okay.
This is what is really great. This is what we must really bring to the fore here. Because NSAS must always be a slogan and not a mission.
So it should be beyond just having a conversation, having a hashtag.
Yeah, because if we truly have the attention of the people, as we've proven to this extent, it is mediocre of us to only give them an end to police brutality, while their children are still dying from hunger, dying from a lack of health care, dying from bad roads. You understand what I'm saying? Dying from governmental neglect. Many avoidable deaths happen in Nigeria. Trailers exploding on the express and killing everybody. So we need to keep this energy up. NSAS must always mean a lot to this country as the slogan that will woke the Nigerian people up. But our mission must be to end oppression within our society. We must be ready to change the status quo. Yeah, it might mean many of us might not be able to exploit the system as we used to before. But it means many of us will now finally have an access to a system they have been locked out of for 60 years. That's why today I was saying to a lot of people that were, scared because some properties were being damaged. I was like, man, this government has been damaging the lives of millions of people for years. We're all quiet. How are we finding our humanity when property is being damaged? You understand? That's not even the reason for property can be replaced. How about all this life that they just thrown away? You understand? And also, majority of the Nigerian people that I am seeing, not even majority, all the Nigerian people that I'm seeing that are actually involved in the protest are doing it peacefully. All the poor people in my area, they are not thugs and hoodlums. Yes, they blocked the road, but they didn't harass anybody. And they didn't take money from anybody in my own neighborhood. Really, I didn't see it happening. But poor people wanted to express themselves too. Maybe they're not as organized as us. But then for the government to now infiltrate the neighborhoods with thugs, with political thugs, the same people they used against us during the election, and suddenly claim that this is the narrative of the process, of the protest, is quite shocking. Well, it's not shocking for me. It's not alarming. It's more of the same. It confirms to me the evil intentions of our constituted authority in this country. Because for 2 weeks we protested, there was no looting. Suddenly, they put curfew, then the looting started. Minus the fact that these political thugs have been infiltrating the protests, being brought by government vehicles to protest already, So there was no curfew. People were protesting 24 hours, not all those protests that we go home. 24 hours of protest for 2 weeks, no curfew, no looting. Suddenly, government entered, looting entered. Well, we all know the professional looters in Nigeria already. We are a looter. We are a looter continuum, we agree. But the professional looters, we know them. So the spirit of looting that entered this election, this protest, we know where it comes from. It was an act. I'm telling you, it's an act by nobody can tell me otherwise. It's an act by our oppressors to hijack the narrative of this protest. To say it's now violent, it's now violent. You have to stop. You have to stop.
Let me come from a different angle, because the thing is, musicians are very known for using policemen. I mean, there's been a routine. Musicians are known for using policemen.
Police, so don't give me bad
news.
news.
I know, but the thing is,
say some musicians.
Some musicians are known for using the policemen, right? And now we're talking about reform the Nigerian police force. So now, be honest, how do you think this will benefit the music industry? Because the thing is, let me give you an example. Let me give you a typical example.
Okay.
So before you go, let me give you a typical example. You check a musician's page, and you see a guy saying, "I'm guarded." Then you see policemen in uniform with their guns in pictures with, certain musicians. Now we're talking about reforming the police. How do you think this will benefit the music industry?
Now, first of all, I'm not talking about reforming police. Reforming police is no longer my business. The Nigerian people have already reformed Nigerian police. If the Nigerian police never get sense after what happened to them this week, then they don't ever get sense. And the Nigerian people don't get sense. If you go for road now, we see any police, they harass our brother. We will stop, ask them why. Okay, what's happening? Explain. If he's guilty, okay, he said enter police motor gently. Let them go and answer your case in the station. But saying that all those harassment, we are not down for that anymore. We don't show that one. You understand? So for me, the fact that
do you feel like using the even I'm saying for us now, we're saying we need to.
No, I want to answer that question now about celebrities and police. Okay. Now many of us in Nigeria, we only know one way. And we only know one way because we've only seen one way. So everybody that is that we are made to look up to, right? Everybody we are made to look up to acts that way. So many of us that are poor and looking to come out of our poverty only have those people's behavior as example. Many of these artists do not even understand that having police against your own fans is an oppressive stance. You understand?
Okay.
Because your police is definitely against your fans. It's not against other police. You didn't hire police because of other politicians. You hire them because of the people. You don't trust the people. You feel the people are dangerous. But this is how we've all been educated. This is how we've all been raised. You know, when you look at anybody who is anybody that is made an example in this society, they have personal police. You know, because we are all made to believe that the poor people of Nigeria are dangerous. Whereas it is truly the rich people of Nigeria that are dangerous, very dangerous. I mean, even in these terms of property destruction, can we count how many poor people's property Lagos State have destroyed illegally and given the land to their friends and cronies? Even in Igomu, the artist village near National Theatre, didn't Lagos State government go and destroy all their property there? So, listen, we didn't know any better, right? But now we do. And now that we do, we must do better. We must do better as a people, as a nation, you know, so that we don't set the same wrong examples for those ones coming after us. You know, I don't want to blame people, but you put a gate man, you hire a gate man, you oppress your friends. Why is it so? Even in our homes, you know, I said this in my first video about this whole thing. You know, in secondary school, they'll give you senior, junior to oppress your junior. You know, junior brother, senior brother oppress junior brother and sister. You know, every level of our relationship, they taught us to find a way to add the oppressive angle to it. So in all aspects of us, we feel like the more you can oppress, the more successful you are. Oppressor, oh Moshi. Remember? You remember now?
Now, you know the thing is, if you
let me just land. Negative values have been given positive outlook in this society because our society is ruled by oppressors. But now that we are waking up, let us do better. That's all. Okay. I'm not going to blame someone and say, oh, you are doing it too. We didn't know any better, right? But now that we know better, let us do better. Anybody that's still doing the same thing after now, we know that he's a confirmed oppressor and a hypocrite. You know?
You know, to be honest,
if you need personal security, hire bodyguards.
Okay. You know, the thing is, if I want to be honest, like a few of you guys, which I would tag, you guys are very revolutionary, and you guys you make music about protest, about struggles, about you know, a lot of things, and it's almost like, you know, there was this notion that when you do you do songs that champions a cause or talks about revolution, or, you know, it doesn't really have a place. I mean, you guys, your family were able to prove that that's different. I mean, speaking about Fela's always spoken about the struggle in all his songs. You do the same. Femi does the same as well. Now, it's just a few of you guys, but do you think, you know, music that speaks about revolution have a place, especially in Nigeria?
Definitely. I mean, music for African liberation. And it's just that African liberation is only revolutionary because state power is always against it. You can go back in all our history. Anybody that has stood up for African people has always been an enemy of the state. Right? So
but why is that exactly? Why do you think that has become? Because now the thing is, why did it take us so many years to now realize that Fela sang about these things and we're just embracing it now?
The Nigerian professional only embraces what concerns them. So I was, you know, as I told you in the first question you asked me, I was like, they can't go to school. Instead of us to agitate for our public schools to be better. As soon as this elite start building private school, we abandon the poor with their problem, right? And we start paying public school fees, private school fees, putting more stress on ourselves because we're afraid to agitate for public school that will be cheap and less stressful to our life in the long run. Because if all my children can go to Ikeja Grammar School now, that I'll be paying less to nothing. I can put that other money into developing my communities in other way instead of putting it back in one rich man's pocket. Yeah, I'm telling you, what happens in Nigeria really is some kind of wage slavery. Where the people that run this, because Nigeria is not a country. We have to turn it to a country. Nigeria is a company, and we are all its employees. And that non-contract employee of UK that they can sack you at any time, no hour contract.
True.
So now, if you look at our elites as a human being, just look at them as one person, right? This person that is giving you a job, right, owns the school your child goes to, owns the house you stay in, owns the hospital you go to, owns the transport system, the planes that take you everywhere. They own all this. They own the food you eat, basically. They run all these big businesses. They own the telecommunications. All the things we need to live our lives as human beings is owned by them, right? So if you go back to the time of slavery, because many people think slavery means, oh, you are chained, you can. No, slavery simply means when somebody has the control over your existence. You understand? So now these same people we work for, right? In the time of slavery that they didn't pay, because black people always forget too that we were commodity under capitalism. And so the only way capitalist nations, imperialist nations can relate with being African is by commodifying it. If they can't commodify any African thing, it is of no value. And they've sold that to us too. That's why we let our culture go, because we don't see how we can commercialize it. It cannot be commodified. It's culture, We let our rivers go dirty, our forests depleted, because nobody can own it. It's not commodity of somebody. We let them pollute our air as they like, because nobody owns the air, and things like that. Things that are ours that cannot be commodified, we are taught not to put value on it because they too have no value for it. So in the slave time, we as black people were the slave master's responsibility. He had to feed you, clothe you, treat you when you are sick. All those things we use our salary to pay for now were his responsibility. So now these same people now employ us, but where it is dangerous and diabolical in Nigeria is that we are underpaid. So it is more like ransom. One bag of rice here is worth more than the proposed minimum wage, because they've not started giving anybody that 30,000. Not all states have agreed. Absolutely. Bag of rice is more than our minimum wage. So when you work now for your oga, instead of him to pay for all those your things that he normally pays for, he now underpays you, then charges you high in his private school. How many workers in Nigeria don't borrow money to pay school fees? Charge you high for his rent. He's underpaying you drastically. You know that this money is paying, you cannot afford this rent he's charging outside. Charges you high for his transportation. Charges you high for it, so you are desperate for that job. You are desperate. Even with that job, you are borrowing money to supplement your living. Losing that job means you are automatically in debt. In a country without safety nets, no rhymes intended. I'm writing down that.
But I got that anyways. The music industry. The
Nigerian elites need to do better as well for the people of this country. That's what I'm trying to say.
The
game is too wicked.
You can never be caught. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I know, and this is the truth. I mean, I like coming from the angle of truth that we have musicians at some point that champion the cause of politicians. For example, doing jingles for them, maybe doing elections, and let's be honest, the music industry is almost sponsored under patronage. You get what I'm saying? I mean, a bulk of the music industry.
I don't want us to be too harsh on Nigeria.
Yeah, I know. It's sponsored by the music industry is basically sponsored by a level of patronage, and that now brings me to the question of, at some point, somebody might reach out to you and tell you, a politician might tell you straight up that, I'm going for this thing. Now you need to do a jingle for me, and you need to align with my dreams, which I feel at the end of the day, it depends on where you stand. It's not a problem for me, but I also think that at the end of the day, how does this industry reconcile with that? Now, because now at the end of the day, where I think made a lot of sense is everybody's throwing in all their bags and throwing in all, some people might not even get deals afterwards, even taking this step. For example, let me give you an example. I mean, I don't want to mention any name, but the truth is, I mean, how do you reconcile this? Is it that they've gotten to a point where they have, you know what, I don't want to say my breath's right anymore. I want to face the truth, because usually the problem before now was that, if I go with this thing now, what would the government say? Or what would this person say? Or I might not get deals anymore. How do you reconcile that now, knowing that a lot of them have championed this effect, but do you think there's a ripple effect afterwards? After this.
The truth is this: there's no action without consequence, right?
True.
If you drink a cup of water, you definitely take a cup of water out of where the water came from. There's no miracle to it, you know. Mm-hmm. So definitely our actions have consequences. Mm-hmm. So maybe what we're experiencing today are those consequences. And if we feel that we really want to change them, I feel it is our decision to make it. It's a personal decision to be deliberate about it. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's wrong to support a politician if that politician has genuine ambitions for the people. But it's also our responsibility to make sure those ambitions are genuine. It's no longer okay to say, I thought he was a good man. No. You know, if a man is good to you, doesn't make him a good man. You are not everybody.
Can you ever campaign for a politician?
I have campaigned for a politician. I was a serious member of Asiwaju's first campaign in 1999, coming from the Nadeco history with my family and all the protests, you know. And I was a staunch supporter of him until about 10 years ago, you know, when my own eye too kind of opened. So I was like, okay, no fight, no anything, but I'm not doing anything with you guys anymore, you know. So, I mean, it is what it is. And so we just have to learn. We have to learn from our mistakes. You know, that is what it means to be human. That is what growth is all about. So when I look back at those days that I played at Asiwaju's campaign when I was going to be governor of Lagos, you know, and I, not even for money. I made absolutely nothing from it, really. You know, it covered the cost because it was not really buoyant then. It just came back from exile, you know. Mm-hmm. And from then on, you know, even before then, but from then on, we kept a strong political relationship, you know. That was not, you know, you can see where I live, you know, as if I was collecting money from, you know, but I believed in what he was trying to achieve for the Yoruba people back then. But now that my own understanding of African politics, Nigerian politics has also grown, and I've understood what is really going on, there's no reason, there's no way I can support him anymore. You understand? Okay. So I think that's what it is, you know, but it is not we will not be excused to say, well, I didn't know. It is your duty to know if you truly want to know. So I don't know, like, as they say, ignorance is not a defense in the court of law. We are knowing better, we as a people. I'm talking to it, and you are coughing. Let me, you don't be coughing, I don't have corona. Everybody look at who is coughing there. Can you see You know, so I think, as they say, ignorance is not a defense in the court of law. We all know better now, and we must do better. And it's not only the celebrities, we, the people of this country, you know, there's something that we must end, these special people. You know, that's why our politicians are saying, we should go and look for representatives. Now, they even say, nobody's even now saying we should go in our universities and find young political scientists, young sociologists, young economists, young people that are professionals in this field to go on the panel for us. No, they want to pick Seun Kuti, Dotun Fowles, Tiwa Savage. I mean, listen.
This is my understanding. You don't have to be popular to make an effect or a change. That's
exactly.
You don't have to be popular.
The people support us a lot. We get a lot of support from the people. Maybe we owe the people an investment in a platform for them. Maybe we owe the people a support in creating their political platform for them. But we have to extend leadership to the rank and file of the people.
At the protest, I met a young girl called Reno. So this thing, like I said, you don't have to be popular to make a name. That girl is young. And what she controlled, how she spoke, her coordination, that is somebody that even me, I was so impressed and blown away. And she's barely like, I'm sure she's very in her 20s or 30s. Like,
me too. You know,
she's
me, I
not
run an
even
organization, right, where I call for young people that want to change this. And I meet so many young people with every ounce of them oozes brilliance.
Yeah.
You know, who are passionate and also who are deliberate, more deliberate in their actions than our politicians, and they don't have anything.
And what they say and what they do, they stand by it. You know, the problem
I'm
is,
telling you.
and I keep saying
So,
it, the
you know,
issue with
all
a lot
this
of young
special
people.
Nigerian syndrome that goes around, we need to call it out. We have to be the ones to let the people know, well, we are not more special than you. It is a wrong orientation, and it's really the weaponizing of poverty. You understand? Your fan, you know, people are our fans, you know, but they are also living in poverty. So not only are they our fans and look up to us because we have gift and talent, they look up to us also because we have economic advantage. You know, we can help them eat that day if they run across us. We can help them, you know. Me, I'm not happy when I'm walking on the streets and my fans surround me because they need money. Grown men, you know, that's not the kind of country I live in.
It is sad.
When my fans surround me in France, it's not because they want money, they want autograph, they want pictures, you know. So this is the Nigeria that we have kind of endorsed, and it's the Nigeria that we must also help change as much as we have helped endorse it.
Exactly. There's a big question out there now. I mean, regardless of whatever it is, I feel like there's another thing I feel at the protest that things a lot of people saw and enjoyed, and that's apart from the entertainment, there's the connection that people made. People are coming there to eat 3 square meals, but you know the good thing is you can come there and engage. Do you think? I mean, that alone has been something that has really changed a lot of people's minds and everything. And I got to a point now, it almost feels like I don't believe we're at a deadlock. I feel like we've made a lot of power in the things we've done, in our speech, in our communication, and as much in our strength. But now it gets to a question. One big question is, so what are we doing next? What is the way forward?
I think I heard the government talking, you know, the problem is not that we are not the ones deadlocked. It's the government that is refusing to actually listen. I feel they are hearing.
Sorry,
okay.
Brother.
It's Uwa again. We're actually deadlocked. We are not actually deadlocked. It's the government pretending to listen, but actually not listening, you know. Because as I said, NSAS, they say, okay, we are going to stop police brutality. None of them have committed to running the country better. They've not committed to public housing. Many of the people that stayed behind in that place that the soldiers went to shoot at Lekki were not Ajebota protesters. They were those people that didn't have anywhere to go. If they were the children of the well-to-do, do you think this is what we'll be saying right now? If the child of one person that has house in Lekki was shot in that place, no, all the Lekki children had gone home. They've run home for curfew. That's another thing that I just hold that, you know, even in all the opportunity I've had to talk to everybody that was involved in the Lekki protest, I wasn't happy that when the army came, the people were alone. They were like, DJ Switch is there. I'm like, all due respect, come on. You know?
A lot of other people.
Yeah, this is not the time. That's not the moment that we should have left the people by themselves, even if it is to help the army disperse them. You understand? Even if it's not to say we want to stay there and say, we no go agree, we no go. Even if it's to turn and face them and say, listen, these people are here, they're going to harm us, let's all go. Even if it's to do that, there was nobody there. So you see, those people are those people without homes. What is the government doing to rectify that situation in 21 years of democracy? In 21 years of democracy, they've not delivered any low-cost housing estates for the people of this state or this country anywhere. That maybe I don't know anything happening in India, but at least in Lagos, 21 years. Look at homelessness everywhere. People living under the bridge in shanty homes. If you come to the dustbin of Lagos State, you know it's in Ojota. Our state dump is in Ojota here. People are living, they've built homes on top of dustbin. And you're saying those kind of people should care about coronavirus. And you carry those people palliative. You hide them for inside warehouse. I mean, there is no redemption for these people. In any way I turn to look at them, there is no redemption. Have you heard anybody talking about housing? Children are growing up in that place. Children are hawking on the streets. Have you heard anything about improving their welfare to take them to school? Or, I mean, let's just forget these people. These people, they can say all they want to say all day about police reform. And the police reform what they are doing is so superficial. Talking about welfare of the police. It's not the welfare of the police that is making the police corrupt. It is the leadership of the police that is corrupt. That's why the rank and file is corrupt. If the leadership of the police is not corrupt, the rank and file cannot be corrupt. If the minister is not corrupt, the ministry cannot be corrupt. The corruption must be sanctioned to a certain extent by the top. So, if welfare is the reason why they are corrupt, then Nigerian politicians should be the holiest people around. I mean, how much do you need before you stop stealing? Let's ask a Nigerian politician. This is Seun Kuti reporting for Clout Africa. Mr. Nigerian politician, how much does one steal before it's enough?
So, okay, now, would you ever, I mean, know your stance now, would you ever run for government? Would you ever?
No, I don't want to run for government. I've always said I want to be part of the party, not just a party. I want to be chairman of the party that will deliver the leadership that will liberate this country. You know, I think more than anything, the party is where we are getting it wrong over and over again in Nigeria. You know, look at the mess that APC is, look at the mess that PDP is. You can see that the lack of discipline of the politicians reflects in their party. And they've been playing that game since independence. So this is the time that we, the people of Nigeria, must decide. We have to be deliberate. Because, you know, we cannot do what they did to our parents to these new people. You know, use them, carry them to get power. Then once you get power, you abandon them. Because these APC people, they forgot in 2012. Let me say, it's 2012 that we do this. Now the people protest, when they carry the energy of that protest, enter presidency. Look at them today. So we must not let these people again use our energy without us. Now we go use our energy. There's a song I always sing for them when I want to let them. Oh,
sing.
Oh, tiara gbagbe o, ileri egba kan. Àṣebí tí lọ́gbọ́n orí ẹ̀, APC tí àrùpẹ̀ gan. Àṣebí tí lọ́gbọ́n orí, APC tí àrùpẹ̀ gan. You got the yap there.
Oh, wow. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to say, Seun. I mean, there's always a question that's been ringing the bell, because the thing is, the youth have woken up. And the thing is, we've had powers in different places, in music, in our ideologies, in our even our culture. The youth have had a lot of power in this phase. I mean, if you want to talk about it, even like I said, to be honest, I bluntly said this. We have what we have. Now, for example, now, see everybody calling out some top musicians, whether we like it or not. I told somebody, I said, the reason why they ever come to Africa is because you have what they don't have. They're not here to be friends with you. They're here to break bread with you. So at the end of the day, now you guys suddenly just realize that some of them are culture vultures. I always said this. They're not here because they want to be your friends. They're here because for some reason you have something that they don't have, and they need. So now, people, Nigerians got crazy about it when they were calling out some musicians and this is that. But the thing is, this is something we've always been saying. It's a good thing. We need to collaborate. But the thing is, let's be honest. You can't have things. You can't just be on a table and you're not bringing something to the table. The reason why somebody is sitting with you, or even the reason why we ever even were slaves in the first place, because at the end of the day, you were there because we're going to represent something. If I have to pay money to get, it's all these things. I mean, the fact that you have to bring something that you bring on the table. And this is things that are replicated over time within the years. Now, you think about it now. We're in a place where now that we're started asking questions. We're woken up. What is the biggest question do you think you feel we should be asking the government or ourselves or, your peers, your parents? What should be that biggest question you should be asking ourselves now?
Very interesting. I think the biggest question we should be asking ourselves now is, what am I doing to build my nation?
True.
And not for my selfish interest, but to have a nation. I'll give you an example. Many of the rich men in Nigeria will tell you that they are building this country, but they're only building the part of this country that brings a profit for them. They don't have real legacy. I was having a conversation with the band one time, and I told him, I said, well, for me, I respect musicians more than any of these our so-called billionaires, because musicians have added more value to this country than any of them. But like how? Their companies are worth more than our music. I was like, but that's a lie. I said, because I said that.
And then go agree, and I don't agree pay correct money. And then go they underprice you.
They go give me job, because me now everybody will give me job now. 1 billion, 1 billion charge. Let's all be crazy together.
Because logistics alone go only time.
Let's all be crazy together. I'm telling you, they are increasing fuel. Nigerian musicians don't be like me. As they increase fuel, any oil business will call me, say, come play. I'll say, Baba, you don't increase fuel. Me, I don't increase show. 1 billion. If you want music, reduce your fuel. Okay, I mean, you don't want anyway, put it aside. Just put that aside. I say, because there's, of all the billions they say Dangote has, if Dangote did not exist, tell me one thing we will not have in this Nigeria. Because for me, that is what value truly means.
True. I agree.
If Bill Gates did not exist, America will not have Microsoft and Explorer and all those things he invented from his mind. If there was no Apple, there will be no iPhone. There might be another phone, but there will be no iPhone, which is one of the best phones in the world. But somebody else will sell us cement in Nigeria now. I mean, I don't get.
Who be fool?
I said, but without the band, all those our hit songs when he released, what would they hear? We will never have heard it. Nobody else would have come around to sing those songs. You understand? So we are more valuable, really, in the real sense of the word, because we truly add to this country. Because the things we bring to this country did not exist before. And when I make money, especially like me, I always go outside and I bring money into Nigeria. I don't package Nigerian money and take it outside.
You invest it here.
Yeah. So for me, from that perspective, we as artists, we have a lot of power, and I feel we need to use that power on behalf of the people.
True.
Because, for example, look at Harvard. Harvard has how many $61 billion endowment fund, and that's money the rich people of that country have donated to that school.
Sorry, go on. I'm listening to you.
Our billionaires donate more to PDP and APC than they donate. They should come and tell us, in a country where our elites invest more in entertainment and education, we truly need to see them as the parasites that they truly are.
Do you
They
ever
are the ones
see?
that are blocking real value from coming into this country.
Do you ever see anyone below the age? Like in I think in Mali, we have a guy who's barely, or is it Mali or Guinea, who's a president who's barely 28. Do you see any young person
Is it the
holding?
military coup in Mali, the young guy?
Yeah, not the. There's I'm trying to remember someone who was barely, he's 28 or 20, but he became president. Let me use Macron for example. The French president was barely, he was barely 30 when he became president, I guess. Yeah. Do you see any young person becoming the president in this country? I mean,
Not in
with
this constant,
all what we
not
have,
in this
do you
present
see?
political setting. But if we create a platform to represent ourselves, then definitely yes.
Do you see a musician becoming a president in this country?
If he has done the work to be that, yes. Why not? Anybody can be president. See, that's what I'm saying. But we cannot pick by emotion alone. We cannot say, oh, because we like this guy, he has to be. No, 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 no. We have to be strategic with things. So if he is the president and the musician wants to be president, a comedian, a carpenter, he needs to have the political astuteness necessary to be president. Not just based on popularity or how much people like him or things like that. Nah.
Which of your songs do you think has been the most revelation? It's almost like when you listen to that song now, I'm going to suffer you.
I
Which
think,
song?
you know what? Funny enough, I think every time I write an album, something happens to justify my album.
Okay.
So when I wrote my second album, From Africa with Fury, it was called From Africa with Fury, Rise. The whole of North Africa rose. Nigeria itself rose in 2012. You know, then in 2014, I did A Long Way to the Beginning. And in 2015, all Africa, a lot of incumbent politicians were kicked out in Nigeria, everywhere, you know. And then I did Black Times, you know. And the intro alone is so revealing. Now, are you ready to rise, to be free, to wise, to be free? Now, so it's like, you know, hey, TB Joshua, I'm giving you a run for your money here.
So what it means now is that not everybody, not every pastor and imam sees visions.
And they tell you, I think there's a track on Black Time, my last album called Last Revolutionary. You know, basically, first of all, paid homage to all the revolutionaries that fought for our freedom, for us to be here today. Because that's another thing that, you know, they don't teach us as young African people. Yeah, I respect Christians. This is not a diss. Trust me, I'm trying to make a point. Christians respect Jesus because he died for them. And the Son of God, he came, he died. But Jesus Christ knew he was going to wake up. If me, I'm not going to wake up, I'll die for you too, Dots. Like,
Bam.
Dots is my guy, no story.
Bam.
3 days, give me.
Yeah.
I'll be back in 3 days, bitch.
Yeah, you already know.
You know? But we have leaders, we have ancestors that died for us in Africa. Men that knew, people like Lumumba, like Sankara, you know, like Steve Biko, you know, Amika Cabal. So many great men that gave their life for us in Africa, knowing that they will never come back. And we are not taught about these men. You understand? Many of us do not realize that our existence is not willy-nilly. African people are the only people under capitalism that were never invited to the table of capitalism.
Absolutely.
For a black man to be anything in this system, somebody had to die.
And that's the truth. I mean, I think that's the part that we don't like to hear.
For some reason, we, this generation, we've been sold some kind of self-made, you know, mantra, every man for himself mantra, ignoring the people that opened the door for us to enter to. So instead of us to now carry on the job because they, you know, we still have to force our way in. Now we are in. Instead of us to, now that we are in, to make sure that we break the door down for our people to start pouring in. We are inside there acting as if we are in there by our own merits. Because we are too cowardly to pay it forward. What was paid for us. So African people need to know, even to go to school. To go to school. We are not allowed to be educated.
You know what, Seun, because of our time, we don't want to run out. I just wanted to say, because a lot of people are on it, especially for the young people out there, and for every Nigerian that have the heart to move to the next level. We don't want to be, I realize, and I completely can say this, we can be docile and complacent. But I feel like for the first time, we're not. And I think I respect that.
Yes,
and I think I'm happy with that.
Keep this energy.
Yeah. Same energy.
We keep this energy up until 3 years, when we 2.5 years, 2 years later, we are kicking them out. This is our time. I mean, if we don't take political advantage of this moment and start building the Nigeria that we want to see, then I don't know what we are here for. In fact, maybe I will even give up activism. If Nigerian people don't take whatever anybody is doing right now in Nigeria to organize us, if we do not engage with it, I'll know that yes, there's something truly about us that wants us to be enslaved forever. You know, because there's no opportunity like this.
Thank you so much. Are you working on any album anytime soon?
I was working on my new album actually right now, but COVID has COVID stopped me because I can't record. I couldn't travel to record. Okay. That's why I was excited. You say you have a live studio.
No, Seun, you need to come and see the state of the art.
Listen, I want to come and check it out because I need to put out some songs.
You see, bring the whole band, bro. And just so you know it, I mean, this is on the record for everybody who's listening. We would like you to record a song or two with us. We'll talk, don't worry. Trust me.
Okay.
It will be an experience. You will love it. It's the best you've ever seen in Nigeria.
I want to see that.
No problem.
It will be great.
Problem, right? Thank you so much,
Seun. You save me ticket money to go and record.
Baba, I know say you see promise me a ticket to one of your tours.
Yes, I beg, Doctor. I beg.
We could do it.
We're supposed to go. We are going to show them. Me and you are going now.
Yes, so. Seun, God bless you. Thank you so much for what you're doing. The energy, keep it up. And you're very loved. I love you so much. Everybody out there, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to drop this on our page at Clout Africa so you can watch it again. For every you guys that just joined us and you missed it, we'll drop it on our page at Clout Africa. Check out our YouTube page as well. It's Clout Africa, and there's a lot more going there. It's one of the best interviews we've had. And it's the right timing. Chopsticks.
The producer. He's on our GTF. He's here too. Oh, my guys. Hey,
everybody's here. Everybody's there. Darius there. Shout out to EFC. No bad. Shout out to everybody. Deco, Alpha. I
see my man.
Thank you so much, Seun. Right? Have a wonderful time. Peace.
Bless up.
You know what? Everybody. All love for Nigerians. Our hearts go out to everybody who lost a soul. Thank you very much. I mean, for everybody who fought and still fighting, we're still in this struggle, right? Thank you so much.